Welcome back to day 3 of me reading it, but we're in the second agreement. I'm Tracy Lene. Thank you so very much for your time. I would love it if you would like this video, if you would share it, and if you would subscribe to my channel. The second agreement: don't take anything personally. The next 3 agreements are really born from this first agreement. The second agreement: don't take anything personally. Whatever happens around you, don't take it personally. Using an early example, if I see you on the street and I say, "Hey, you are so stupid," without knowing you, it's not about you, it's about me. If you take it personally, then perhaps you'll believe that you are stupid. Maybe you'll think to yourself, how does he know? Is he clairvoyant, or can everybody see how stupid I am? You take it personally because you agree with whatever is said. As soon as you agree, the poison goes through you and you are trapped in the dream of hell. What causes you to be trapped is what we call personal importance. Personal importance, or taking things personally, is the maximum expression of selfishness, because we make the assumption that everything is about me. During the period of our education or our domestication, we learn to take everything personally. We think we are responsible for everything. Me, always me. Nothing other people do is because of you. Let me say that again. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. All people live in their own dream, in their own mind. They're in a completely different world from the one we live in. When we take something personally, we make the assumption that they know what is in our world, and we try to impose our world on their world. Even when a situation seems personal, even if others insult you directly, it has nothing to do with you. What they say, what they do, and the opinions they give are according to the agreements they have in their own minds. Their point of view comes from all the programming they received during domestication. If someone gives you an opinion and says, "Hey, you look fat," don't take it personally, because the truth is that this person is dealing with his or her own feelings, beliefs, and opinions. That person tries to send the poison to you, and if you take it personally, then you take that poison and it becomes yours. I know oftentimes people will do videos and people will comment on their weight and people get offended, or as if fat is the equivalent of being a murderer. Fat just means you eat too much food, you don't have self-discipline, but it doesn't mean you don't have a moral compass or that you're a horrible person. For me, fat is because I stopped exercising a lot and started eating more. And I'm 55 and I got to slow down. That's what the fat means for me. I've decided that fat doesn't mean I'm some terrible person that doesn't deserve to live, but it means I have more girth on my body, and I'm not judging myself for it, but I want better health, so I am taking the measures that I need to do to get the excess fat off. But you calling me fat, telling me I need to lose weight, don't be mad at me because I can afford food, okay? I just need discipline with that food. Taking things personally makes you easy prey for these predators, the negative magicians. They can hook you easy with one little opinion and feed you whatever poison they want, and because you take it personally, you eat it up. You eat all their emotional garbage, and now it becomes your garbage. But if you do not take it personally, you are immune in the middle of hell. I used to wear my heart on my sleeve. That is the same as taking things personally. You ever heard that people say, "Oh, you wear your heart on your sleeve"? No, you're taking things personally. Your heart is your heart. And when you wear it on your sleeve, everything people are saying about you, you believe it. You take all of their stuff and you never take into consideration, how do you feel about you? So like with myself, I feel overweight, so I'm doing something about it. But even when I was a size 8, there were people who be like, "Oh, she's fat," because to them that was fat. So I can't measure myself on other people, neither can you. When you take things personally, then you feel offended, and your reaction is to defend your beliefs and create conflicts. You make something big out of something so little because you have the need to be right and to make everybody else wrong. That need to be right comes from the fear of feeling like you don't belong or you're not worthy. So you have to be right, because then you feel like, "I can check that off. If I did that right, then I'm right." You don't need to be right in nobody else's life, just your own. You also try hard to be right by giving them your own opinions. In the same way, whatever you feel and do is just a projection of your own personal dream, a reflection of your own agreements. That's the same with religion. Every person in the religion they're in makes their way the right way. You go into hell if you don't believe the way they believe. Sometimes they don't really believe it. They just need to convince themselves by trying to convince you. Sometimes they do believe it. The people who live their life by their religious tenets and don't judge you for yours, those are the people who believe what they believe. But the people who constantly have to interject what they believe on you, telling you wrong and this is the only way, they're trying to convince themselves that it is the only way. What you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements you have made. And these opinions have nothing to do with me. It is not important to me what you think about me, and I don't take what you think personally. I don't take it personal when people say, Miguel, you are the best. I also don't take it personally when they say, Miguel, you are the worst. I know that when you are happy, you will tell me, Miguel, you are such an angel. But when you are mad at me, you will say, oh, Miguel, you are such a devil. You are so disgusting. How can you say those things? Either way, it doesn't affect me because I know what I am. I don't have the need to be accepted. I don't have the need to have someone tell me, Miguel, you are doing so good. How dare you do that? Which is where we all should strive to get to, where you don't need other people to validate you, where you validate you. Because if you need them to validate you, then when they invalidate you, like with artists, when they make an album, if it doesn't do well, but they love what they did, they love that album. But if critics say, oh, the album was terrible, they don't have to believe that. Just like they don't have to believe it when the critic says, oh, the album was great. They have to believe what they believe. No, I don't take it personally. Whatever you think, whatever you feel, I know is your problem, not my problem. It is the way you see the world. It is nothing personal because you are dealing with yourself, not with me. Others are going to have their own opinion according to their own belief system. So nothing they think about me is really about me, but it is about them. And, like what a person thinks about you is based upon how they process information. So they're processing that and putting it onto you. Like there are women who think if you wear natural hair, ill. And there are women who think if you wear weaves, ill. You wear makeup. Oh my God, you don't like your own self. If you don't wear makeup, you need to put some makeup on. Those are based, that's not about you. You can do what you want to do, and it's about you. Even with the people getting the BBLs, when we comment on it, that's really more about how we feel, not how they feel. I have learned and learning every day that people do what they're going to do and be happy and let me focus on me. You may even tell me, Miguel, what you are saying is hurting me, but it is not what I am saying that is hurting you. It is that you have wounds that I touch by what I have said. You are hurting yourself. There is no way I can take this personally, not because I don't believe in you or trust you, but because I know that you see the world with different eyes, with your eyes. You create an entire picture, a movie in your mind, and in that picture, you are the director, you are the producer, you are the main actor or actress. Everyone else is a secondary actor or actress. It is your movie. When I was in the theater, you would get the critics' reviews after the play. Now, I was off Broadway, way off Broadway, Brooklyn. But I did shows that they would tell you, talk about the characters and what you did. Even when I was in college, you'd get these reviews. And one of my professors said to us, don't believe either of them. If they say you're great, don't believe it and accept it. And if they say you're not great, don't believe it and accept it. And I said, why don't we believe the great? She said, because if you believe the great, then when someone says you're not, you got to believe that too. So how about you just make your own decision? And that's one of the best pieces of advice she could give me in the theater world, in the entertainment world. You got to believe and trust in yourself. Can't worry about people because you're going to have mixed reviews in everything. The way you see that movie is according to the agreements you have made with life. Your point of view is something personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours. Then if you get mad at me, I know you are dealing with yourself. I am the excuse for you to get mad, and you get mad because you are afraid, because you are dealing with fear. If you are not afraid, there's no way you will get mad at me. If you are not afraid, there's no way you will hate me. If you are not afraid, there's no way you will be jealous or sad. That doesn't mean that the person won't do things that make you look at them differently in terms of not wanting to be around them, but you won't expend the energy of getting mad at them or jealous of them or sad or hate them. You will just decide that's who they are. Let me move on and let it go. If you live without fear, if you love, there's no place for any of these emotions. If you don't feel any of these emotions, it is logical that you will feel good. When you feel good, everything around you is good. When everything around you is great, everything around you makes you happy. Like, I'm not going to take it personal that I told them that I was recording. They downstairs laughing and talking loud. I'm not going to take it personal. It's not about me. they're down there laughing and having a good time. So we just going to let them laugh and have a good time because that's what they want to do. And I'm not going to take it personally that I told them to shut up while I'm recording. Not going to take it personal. Anywho, you are loving everything that is around you because you are loving yourself. Because you like the way you are. Because you are content with you. Because you are happy with your life. You are happy with the movie you are producing. Happy with your agreements with life. You are at peace and you are happy. You live in a state of bliss where everything is so wonderful and everything is so beautiful. In that state of bliss, you are making love all the time with everything that you perceive. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. Let's say it again for the people in the back. Whatever people do, feel, think, or say, don't take it personally. That does not mean that you don't have the reaction to what they're saying in terms of protecting yourself. If somebody is punching you, don't go, oh, why are you punching me? You need to punch back. Worry about why they're punching you later. If somebody is insulting you, ask yourself, why does this insult hit me in my heart? What is it about this I believe? And sometimes people are personally trying to insult you. They are intentionally trying to make it personal and making it personal at you, but you don't have to accept it. You can say, I don't accept that. And it becomes back to them. It's theirs. If they tell you how wonderful you are, they're not saying that because of you. They're saying that because how you make them feel, the wonderfulness that happens to them when they're around you. So you're wonderful. You should know you are wonderful. It is not necessary to believe other people who tell you that you are wonderful. Don't take anything personally. Even if someone got a gun and shot you in the head, it was nothing personal, boy. Even at that extreme, it really wasn't personal. It was what they were going through that made them think they had to shoot you, but it's about them. I know that seems weird, but it's the truth. Hold on. Just hold on. Even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. Therefore, you don't need to take whatever you hear in your own mind personally. The mind has the ability to talk to itself, but it also has the ability to hear the information that is available from other realms. Sometimes you hear a voice in your mind and you may wonder where it came from. This voice may have come from another reality in which there are living beings very similar to the human mind. The Toltecs call these beings allies. In Europe, Africa, and India, they call them gods. Our minds also exist on the level of gods. Our mind also lives in that reality and can perceive that reality. The mind sees with the eyes and perceives this waking reality. But the mind also sees and perceives without the eyes. Although the reason is hardly aware of this perception. The mind lives in more than one dimension. There may be times when you have ideas that don't originate in your mind, but you are perceiving them with your mind. You have the right to believe or to not to believe these voices, and the right to take what they say personally, and the right not to take what they say personally. We have a choice whether or not to believe the voices we hear within our own minds, just as we have a choice of what to believe and agree within the realms of the planet. The mind can also talk and listen to itself. The mind is divided as your body is divided. Just as you can say, I have one hand and I can shake my other hand and feel the other hand, the mind can talk to itself. Part of the mind is speaking and the other part is listening. It is a big problem when 1,000 parts of your minds are all speaking at the same time. This is called the mitote, remember? The mitote can be compared to a huge marketplace where thousands of people are talking and bartering at the same time. Each one has different thoughts and feelings. Each one has a different point of view. The programming in the mind, all of those agreements we have made are not necessarily compatible with each other. Every agreement is like a separate living being and has its own personality and its own voice. There are conflicting agreements that go against other agreements and on until it becomes a big war in your mind. The mitote is the reason humans hardly know what they want, how they want it, or when they want it. They don't agree with themselves because there are parts of the mind that want one thing and other parts that want exactly the opposite. Some parts of the mind has objections to certain thoughts and actions, and another part supports the actions of the opposing thoughts. All of these little living beings create inner conflict because they are alive and they each have a voice. Only by making an inventory of our agreements will we uncover all of the conflicts in the mind and eventually make order out of the chaos of the mitote. Don't take anything personally because by taking things personally, you set yourself up to suffer for nothing. Humans are addicted to suffering at different levels and to different degrees, and we support each other in maintaining these addictions. Humans agree to help each other suffer. If you have the need to be abused, you will find it easy to be abused by others. Likewise, if you are with people who need to suffer, something in you makes you abuse them. It is as if they have a note on their backs that says, "Please kick me." They are asking for justification for their suffering. Their addiction to suffering is nothing but an agreement that is reinforced every day. Wherever you go, you will find people lying to you, and as your awareness grows, you will notice that you also lie to yourself. Do not expect people to tell you the truth because they also lie to themselves. You have to trust yourself and choose to believe or not to believe what someone says to you. When we really see other people as they are without taking it personally, we can never be hurt by what they say or do. Even if others lie to you, it is okay. They are lying to you because they are afraid. They are afraid you will discover that they are not perfect. It is painful to take that social mask off. If others say one thing but do another, you are lying to yourself if you don't listen to their actions. But if you are truthful with yourself, you will save yourself a lot of emotional pain. Telling yourself the truth about it may hurt, but you don't need to be attached to the pain. Healing is on the way, and it is just a matter of time before things will be better for you. Maya Angelou coined the phrase, "When someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them." We tend to want people to be what we need them to be, but they are who they are. And we have needless suffering by deciding, I know that this person did this, but they didn't mean it. They meant it. That's why they did it. You can choose to still love them from afar. You can choose to walk away from bad behavior and decide that you're better than that. Every day you have to make a choice. And every day you can choose to believe in the God inside of you and your purpose for life, and not what somebody else is doing, and say, I'm choosing not to accept that behavior. I'm choosing to accept better. Because you want to level yourself up. And the more you level yourself up, you won't even see that behavior because they'll be so far down in the mud messing with people that's down in the mud with them, you won't even know they exist. If someone is not treating you with love and respect, it is a gift that they walk away from you. If that person doesn't walk away, you will surely endure many years of suffering with him or her. Walking away may hurt for a while, but your heart will eventually heal. Then you can choose what you really want. You will find that you don't need to trust others as much as you need to trust yourself or make the right choices. When we say things like, "Well, I trusted you," that's a mistake. Trust yourself. Trusting a person that's not you can only lead to problems because they are not you. It's not personal. They're just doing what they need to do to make their life do what it needs to do for them or out of their personal pain. We have villains and victims in life, and we decide that the villain should never see the light of day, and the victim, oh, my poor little victim, they should get everything, instead of recognizing that they're playing a dance with each other. This is a mutual thing going on here, and I'm not victim shaming. What I'm saying is, when you get to the space where you're allowing people to misuse you, you have to look at yourself and say, why do I feel so poorly about myself that I'm allowing this behavior? The villain has to say, why do I feel so poorly about myself that I want to make this behavior? And when the two people start to do that, they may can work things out with each other, but it's a choice. It's always a choice. When you make a strong habit not to take anything personally, you avoid many upsets in your life. Your anger, jealousy, and envy will just disappear, and even your sadness will simply disappear if you just don't take things personally. In my kitchen on the chalkboard, I have the 4 agreements. I'm in the kitchen a lot, as you can tell. And so I'm always looking at them. And even when I'm not consciously looking at them, my subconscious mind is picking up on them. And I've gotten so much better at all 4 of the agreements. That's why I chose this book second. Because the first one, being impeccable with my word, I make sure that I do that constantly. And if I feel myself slipping, I get back up on being impeccable with my word. And with this second agreement, not taking anything personally, I'm learning to do that. And sometimes I fall into taking it personal and I jump right back out of it when I go, girl, this ain't got nothing to do with you. This is them. This is what they do. Let them do what they do and go move on. Do what you do. If you can make this second agreement a habit, you will find that nothing can put you back in hell. There's a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you take nothing personally. You become immune to negative magicians, and no spell can affect you regardless of how strong it may be. The whole world can gossip about you, and if you don't take it personally, you are immune. Someone can intentionally send emotional poison, and if you don't take it personally, you will not eat it. It's like Jesus said on the cross. That is a perfect example of not taking something personally. Jesus up on that cross said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." I think they knew what they was doing, but Jesus said they know not what they do. And he forgave them. And he wasn't taking it personally. This wasn't about him. This was about them not wanting to yield to the teachings he was bringing. So he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." While he was, now I believe the version given to me by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where he wasn't hung on a cross as such, but that he was stabbed and his arms went up like that to look like a cross. But that's another day and another story. You may not believe it that way, and it's okay. We ain't got to believe the same thing. We all agree that he was crucified. How about that? We all agree with that. But the fact that he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do," he was really saying they don't know that they are taking away their own salvation by hurting me. And that's what other people are doing. When people hurt you, they're taking away their own grace and mercy given to God, because they're hurting you, and you're a God. They're a God too. They just maybe not know it. Where was he at? Here we go. When you don't take the emotional poison, it becomes even worse in the sender, but not in you. You can see how important this agreement is. Taking nothing personally helps you to break many habits and routines that trap you in the dream of hell and cause needless sufferings. Just by practicing this second agreement, you begin to break dozens of teeny tiny agreements that cause you to suffer. And if you practice the first two agreements, which the first one is, be impeccable with your word. The second one is, don't take anything personal. Then you will break 75% of the teeny tiny agreements that keep you trapped in hell. Write this agreement on paper and put it on your refrigerator to remind you all the time, don't take anything personally. As you make a habit of not taking anything personally, you won't need to place your trust in what others do or say. You will only need to trust yourself to make the responsible choices. You are never responsible for the actions of others. You are only responsible for you. When you truly understand this and refuse to take things personally, you can hardly be hurt by the careless comments or actions of others. If you keep this agreement, you can travel around the world with your heart completely open and no one can hurt you. You can say, "I love you," without fear or being ridiculed or rejected. You can ask for what you need. You can say yes or you can say no. Whatever you choose without guilt or self-judgment, you can choose to follow your heart always. Then you can be in the middle of hell and still experience inner peace and happiness. You can stay in your state of bliss and hell will not affect you at all. Don't take the news personally. I'm a person, I don't watch the news a lot because I don't want to live in that low vibrational state. I know what's going on, but guess what? The higher power knows it too and can do more than I can do. So why am I going to sit here and ingest all of that and take it personally and wonder why it's happening or think I can do something about it? I believe that the inner God in me will say, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, but I'm not watching it. I'm not concerned with it because I do believe that there's a bigger plan going on that I may not quite understand, but it's always going on. And even though I'm a part of it, I play my part. So that's the second agreement in this book. Don't take anything personally. So your assignment for today is to not only be impeccable with your word, but don't take it personally. If somebody walks up to you and says, "You're so stupid," that's just a boomerang. They're looking in the mirror saying, "Oh, am I a mirror?" Because you got to be talking to yourself because I ain't stupid. That's what I think you should do. Now, if you do that, be prepared to maybe throw them hands if they say something back. But that's not going to happen because you're not going to take it personal, right? Don't take anything personal. Be impeccable with your word. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share. And then tomorrow we will get into the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. That one is a good one because we be assuming all on folk and we shouldn't do that. Thank you so very much for your time. Like, share, subscribe. If the good Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.